fuel efficient, fun to drive little SUVs, Kia is the sweet spot. This is the 2023 Kia Niro. Comes in 3 different, very fuel-efficient powertrains, including an all-electric. It has a new design that might be a little controversial, but it's bigger, it's better, and it's more fun to drive than it's ever been. Come meet the 2023 Kia Niro. For 2023, there is an all-electric, there is a plug-in hybrid electric, and then there is the actual hybrid. That's the one that we've gotten to know over the last few years since the Niro was first introduced. And for 2023, the hybrid actually is quite improved and has a lot of really great features that you don't expect to find in a hybrid. We took a test drive here in Southern California, and I want to show you some of my very favorite features in the 2023 Kia Niro. So the new design for the 2023 Kia Niro is a little divisive, but let me show you what you get in this design. So it starts with, of course, the new Kia logo here, and what they call is an advanced or evolved tiger nose grille. So it has the slats here for air intake, but it actually has the body color here on this panel, and this panel frames these new headlights, which they have what they call a heartbeat, daytime running light, and projector headlights. It's pretty modern and futuristic looking. I like that. I really like the front end of the Kia Niro. What's even more controversial though is this. All of this black cladding, it's actually not cladding, it's the same composite material that the body is made from, here over the wheel wells, along the side panel, and then it extends to the rear of the car and fills in and allows the tail lights to sort of frame the back of the car. This is a trend that we've seen on some other cars. I think of the Toyota BZ4X has a sort of a similar approach in the design. It is very modern. I think it's going to take a little time for us to decide whether or not we really like this, but I will tell you there's some function to this, which was pretty interesting. So you have this panel here. Well, there's actually an air, what they call an air curtain or a vent here that goes through, so air can channel through here and out the back. Let me show you where the air goes to. So it goes through there, and then it comes out in these vents here. So come over here and take a look, and you'll see there are vents here where the air comes out. And what this does is this allows a very streamlined performance, a very aerodynamic performance by the Kia Niro. So air is actually helping you scoot along the highway rather than slowing you down. Now come and take a look at the rear end. So there are a couple of things I'm going to point out here on the rear of the Kia Niro. First is this badge that says HEV. This is actually Kia's way of naming the hybrid. They call it a hybrid electric vehicle. And this is really significant. It might sound like marketing speak or something like that. It's actually not. It's actually quite clever, although for our purposes, we're still calling this a hybrid because it really is a hybrid. It does not have a plug. There's the new Kia badge and the Niro nameplate over here. The rear end is kind of simple. It reminds me actually of some of the other SUVs, compact SUVs we see on the road with these sort of lightning bolt accent looking tail lights, which is replicated down here, the same shape that you see on the headlight. And then in here is a very nicely sized cargo compartment for this size of an SUV. This is actually pretty good. And then under here, there's a storage space. So you have a spare tire kit. There's not a spare tire. There's not one to keep your fuel economy high, but there is a kit in case you do need to change a tire. But if you need more space, you can do this. You can put these seats down really easily. They are manual fold. There's nothing super fancy about this car, no electric buttons, but you can manually fold the seats down and get almost double the cargo space. So the Kia Niro is designed to be very aerodynamic. It has this spoiler here that helps airflow. Of course, these air curtains here that help airflow, but there's a little secret behind the driver's seat that makes this really efficient. I'm going to show you that. The Kia Niro Hybrid has been really fun to tool around in Southern California this week. We took it to the mountains. We're now down by the beach. And I'm learning to love one particular feature in the Kia Niro. And And that is, even though it's a hybrid, meaning it's not electric, it does have some EV function, but it's not electric. It does have regenerative braking. And what that means is you can pull the left paddle to really accelerate the braking without touching the brake. And you just pull it and hold it, and you will see an indication on the driver information screen. You'll also see the engine speed drop to 0. What that's doing is it's taking all that energy that was feeding the engine, feeding the wheels, and recycling it back into the battery. And as you do that, the car slows quite demonstrably. Not only does the car slow, but what goes up is your fuel economy. So this car is rated to get about 53 mpg. Right now we're getting almost 60. I was getting 60 a little bit ago, and then I hit some traffic and had to actually brake. But as long as I continue to use this left paddle shifter rather than the actual brake, I can increase my fuel economy by 7 or 8 mpg over what Kia estimates this car should get. And that's a pretty awesome deal. The Kia Niro hybrid, even though it's not an electric, gives you some of the benefits of electric driving. And one of those benefits is regenerative braking. And with electric driving, regenerative braking is the function of using the car's power, taking the power away from the wheels to slow the car. And here, I want you to watch here, I can pull this paddle and you see how it goes blue? Well, it also fully stops the car, which is great. And you can see this blue line here. You also see it says auto hold. That means once I stop the car will not move. Notice also we have it in eco mode. So you'll also notice here we have hybrid mode, and in hybrid, the hybrid screen shows us our fuel economy, and then it also shows us the power that's being generated. Right now, it's being generated and sent to the wheels, or that's being regenerated. So when I pull the paddle and slow the car, the energy goes back into the battery. And I want you to look at this. We are getting 58 miles to the gallon, which is about a 5 mpg improvement over Kia's estimate of 53 mpg. And that's because I've been driving around all afternoon using the regen paddle to refuel the battery as I drive, and to use it to stop, which is nice. It's kind of a fun little game, and it gives you extra free power on your battery.
Like that?
Mm-hmm. Look at that, we came to a complete stop just by pulling that paddle, and then look what happened to our fuel economy. Just pulling that paddle and coming to a stop gave us a 0.3 more mpg, which gives us more range on a tank of gas. Kia's steering wheel gives you a lot of great function. Over here you have your driver assist and adaptive cruise systems, and then there's this little page button, so you can tap that to scroll through the display on the driver information screen. Over here you have phone and radio controls, and then you have a mode button that allows you to scroll through things on the multimedia system over there, and a favorite button. You can tap this favorite button to get to, you set up what you'd like to have it take you to, and it will take you to that one thing instantly. And then down here is a drive mode button. I love this because this allows you to choose sport or eco. So if you really want to drive sporty, you can drive sporty and use the paddle shifters for sport driving. And if you really want to drive eco and save fuel, then you can put it in eco and use the paddle shifters for EV type driving. Over here is Kia's newly designed multimedia system. They've really upgraded the entire system, and so here's your hybrid feedback. So you can see we're now getting 55 miles to the gallon, and that's because we've been running the air conditioning. When we really tried with the paddle shifters, we got to over 60. Map, and then let's see, navigation, phone, projection phone. When you have your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto connected through Bluetooth, you will have the projection phone will show up here. You'll just get Apple CarPlay there. Climate, valet mode, radio, setup if you want to set up some of your functions in the vehicle itself. This is where you're going to be able to set up a lot of the things inside the car. There's a lot of nice function in here, including, oh, and check this out, digital key. Now we're not using the digital key, but this is where you can use your phone as a key to lock, unlock, start, and drive the car. You can also text a key to somebody else so they can lock or unlock and drive the car. Lots of great features and functions in here, and this is something that we used to only get in more expensive cars, and we're really excited to have in the Kia Niro. And then here is media, Kia Connect notifications, and there's even a driver's manual here, so you can go in there and find, oh look, you can scan it with your phone and get the manual, so you can find out even more information about the Kia Niro. Down here is this really cool panel. This is something that we have seen in other Kia cars, including the EV6 and the Sportage, and I want to show you how this works because it's a dual function panel. When I tap this, it becomes all my favorites. So I can tap media, I can get quickly to my navigation, I can set my map. But if I tap this, I have climate control. When I tap this is my radio volume dial. When I tap this, it becomes my temperature dial. So I really love how they do this, and it looks good. The letters are nice and bright. It's easy to see. Mostly I just leave it in climate and find those functions here. But if I say I have navigation on there and I want to use this to control the radio station without touching this, it's easy to do. Down here, you'll find there's a USB-C port, a USB standard port, and then there is a 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter style power outlet. There is, in our model, we have a wireless charge pad here, so I can just drop my phone right there and it will charge wirelessly. And then there's some functions here on this panel too. So you'll see heated and cooled seats in our model, heated steering wheel, auto hold. One of my very favorite features is auto hold. Once you have this activated, and you'll see it on the driver information screen that it's activated, when you tap the brake and come to a full stop, the car will stay stopped until you tap the accelerator. I love that feature. We also have our park sensor, and then we have a nice camera view. So we can tap here to get the various camera views. So it gives us a couple of options of different camera views from by pushing this button. And it's nice to be able to see in front of or behind the car, and to be able to add grid lines and an extended rear view monitor, which is what we have there. But I really want to show you this, and this is the space between the seats and the center console. So you'll notice that there are gloss black details here and this really pretty stop-start ring around the stop-start button. It's a very elegant detail, vegan leather wrapped gear selector. But I really love this thing here, this center console, and that's because it's this big open console. Look how big this is. You can fit a lot in here. But if you need cup holders, you just push these little buttons and the cup holders retract out, or you can put them away if you want to put something like a tablet or something large in here. We've seen this in some of the other cars and SUVs from Kia and also from sister company Hyundai, and it's a really clever design. I really like it, and I'm glad that they continued it. Then there is a space in here where you can put some small things. I have a couple of cords in there. You can't put a lot in there, but it is a nice little space where you can hide some things away. I want you to look at this though, this leather covering, which is actually not leather, and then you'll see it here on the seats as well. This is actually post-consumer plastics that they use to create this vegan leather that covers this surface, the armrest, the steering wheel, the gear selector, and then they also use those post-consumer plastics to create other surfaces inside and outside the car. The idea is to reuse materials that are going to waste in our environment, that are potentially polluting our environment, to reuse those, to heat them, mold them, and create soft touch, lovely materials that will last for a really long time in the car. Rear seat passengers do not miss out on all the fun. So first I want you to notice how much legroom I have. I'm 5'8". This seat is set for my driving position, so I have a fair amount of legroom and I have a fair amount of headroom. And I want to point out this headliner on the ceiling. It feels unlike any headliner material I've ever experienced. It looks like it'd be really soft, almost like a felt, and it's not. It's very soft, but it's not like felt at all. It's made from recycled wallpaper, of all things. So that was kind of a surprise when they told us that, and I wondered, what does recycled wallpaper look like? It does not look like wallpaper at all. So it's a really nice, clever reuse of a material that we don't really know what to do with. So what else will rear seat passengers find? Well, of course, there is the requisite armrest here. Again, all of this is vegan leather, and it's actually made with eucalyptus. So hopefully that will keep it from smelling a little stale, maybe. I'm not sure exactly why they chose eucalyptus, but it's lovely and it looks and feels like leather, which is a really nice thing. Then here in the center, rear seat passengers have air vents. There's not separate climate control, but in a $30,000 car, you don't really expect that. There are USB ports right here in the seat backs here, and then also on the passenger seat. And this is nice that it's built in right there, so it's easy to plug in your phone. And these are USB-C ports, not standard USB ports. And then I want you to notice this, and this is the shape of the seat back and the headrest. So the seat is this composite plastic material. It's kind of hard. It's soft on the parts that you'll touch with your back and your head, but then back here it's a nice hard plastic. The headrests extend forward. It's a very modern look, and it's something that we also see in the Kia EV6. It looks really good. There's a dome light here that rear seat passengers can reach, and then there is a sunroof here. It's only a half sunroof or standard sunroof. It doesn't extend over the rear seat passengers, but it does help to make the cabin feel open and airy. With a starting price of about $26,000 and all in for about $36,000, the Kia Niro Hybrid offers drivers who want fuel efficiency a really great option. Plus, you get the benefit of having some EV driving dynamics that you don't normally get in a hybrid. Now, there is an electric hybrid and there is an electric, but those are not in the market yet and they haven't announced pricing, and we don't know how much, if any, of the federal tax incentives those cars will qualify for. So if you're trying to make that decision right now, the hybrid is probably the way to go. Not only will you get those great electric-like driving dynamics, but you'll get this very future-forward design in the Kia Niro, a very spacious and capable compact SUV, as well as all of Kia's great technology. Standard wireless Apple CarPlay, the option of wireless charging, and the driver assistance safety systems that Kia adds to every model without any extra charge. For drivers who are looking for all that, plus a really fun to drive little SUV, the Kia Niro for 2023 has it pretty well nailed.